Hey everyone, welcome to the first of what we hope will be many conversations between Justine and I. We love to talk about everything that's related to moving your body. I'm Erica, and you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Everybody Moves with Erica. I'm a weight neutral, size inclusive, anti diet culture personal trainer. I'm really passionate about helping my clients move their bodies in ways that feel more joyful and freeing rather than being ridden with the guilt and punishment, which often comes with messages that we hear from diet and fitness culture. And we do this really by unraveling the mindset that has been tied so closely to dieting. We identify goals that have nothing to do with your weight, body size, and more about how you're feeling. And so, an example of this is we could set a goal around how does movement help you with stress relief. That's a little bit about me. Justine, why don't you tell us a little bit about you?
Yeah, thanks, Erica. And I love that. I think that there's such a need for weight neutral, size inclusive, anti-diet culture mentality in this industry. And I'm really happy that we connected, and I look forward to learning more from you throughout this process. I'm Justine. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram at Justifying Fitness. And my goal is basically to share relatable workouts, career advice, meal prep routines for the modern day busy woman while keeping things light, realistic, and sustainable. No routine is ever perfect, but I do like to share what works for me, what keeps me sane throughout the week, and helps me find a realistic balance between family, friends, work, and my movement goals. I also like to encourage my audience to release that the pressure that we put on ourselves of having it all together all the time, because in reality,
I love your mission, especially because so many of us are perfectionists in our own ways, and how that comes out, like usually is in our family life or in our work life or, everything combined, trying to give people like true strategies to cut down a little bit from the perfection, which I love.
exactly.
Today, we're going to talk about something that we both feel really passionately about, celebrating movement milestones that really have absolutely nothing to do with our aesthetic appearance. Like I said before, about weight loss or your body size. And we believe it to be so important because we know how much emphasis the fitness industry puts on physical transformation, and that takes a huge toll on our mental health, but also really takes away from the freeing part of using your body and movement.
It really does. The number on the scale, how toned we look in the mirror, before and after pictures, these are things that have been drilled into us from an early age. And we, as a society, have believed that these are ultimate markers of success, when in reality, how you look doesn't reflect your actual health, your strength, or your progress with movement goals. When we focus on appearance only, we're really missing out on so many other wins that deserve so much more recognition.
I think it's just ingrained in so many people because of all the diet culture messages that you've been hearing for so long. And what we're saying is take a minute and think about it. When you're in a workout and you hit a personal best, let's say you ran longer than you thought possible. And we're not talking about 5K, 10Ks. We're talking about like maybe you were a walker and now you jogged from one mailbox to the next mailbox, and how you could celebrate that, because it doesn't have to be these huge goals that we're talking about. We're talking about little realistic things that you see changes in your normal everyday life. Let's say you're someone who started to take up yoga and you just feel like you're able to nail a pose for longer than you were the last time you took the class. It's really like paying attention more to being in your body rather than looking at your body, because that's when you see the true changes that have really nothing to do with the reflection in the mirror.
I totally agree. And even outside of structured workouts, there's so many other ways to measure progress, whether it's carrying groceries up the stairs has become a little bit easier for you, or daily walks feel less exhausting. Those are real signs of growth.
And I think a lot of us tend to look more to what we're seeing in a mirror versus remembering those wonderful achievements that you just mentioned, like the regular everyday things that become easier for us. That's a big reason why movement is so important in our lives. It helps us with building strength, endurance, flexibility, balance. Like those are all the things that keep us alive and moving and healthy throughout the years of our lives. And they're also worth celebrating. What Justine and I really believe wholeheartedly is that we're really removing that obsession over appearance based goals because it really makes movement a lot more enjoyable. I
Yeah,
feel like you're dreaded a lot less if you're not focused on, am I getting six pack abs from
right.
doing this? Am I getting visible muscles? Like,
Yeah,
it's not about like the visibility of it. It's about like, how are you actually feeling? Do you feel like you're punishing your body, or are you appreciating it?
100%. And I think I can definitely relate to that. So I joined Pilates, I want to say it's been 6 months. And when I initially joined, I was really focused on weight loss, toning, just kind of a lot of image-based goals. And throughout my time at Pilates, I started realizing that it was giving me so much more than that. So my mindset really shifted because I think I started realizing that it was helping my mobility, my balance. I really struggle with lower back pain, arthritis. And so Pilates was alleviating some of that pain and limitation from my arthritis and lower back pain. And so my focus started to shift, and it's just made such a difference in my journey in fitness and Pilates. And I go there because I feel stronger afterwards, not because I want to achieve a certain number on the scale.
And I feel like that's such a an awesome side effect of movement is a lot of time people like when they have certain pain, they might tend to like steer away from movement, but really movement can help when you have pain with the right type, not pushing yourself to your limits where you can't move the next day. But I love that example of how you were able to shift your mindset. A little bit about my story. I used to work out more for aesthetics and weight loss, but over time I really was able to see past that and use movement more as a tool for stress relief and anxiety. But earlier on, I mean, I've literally been dieting since I was like 10 years old. So I know a lot of people can relate to that. I definitely used movement more as like a punishment source. Like I loved it. I thought I loved it in the moment, but in reality, when I look back, if I didn't do it on a certain day, like it stressed me out. And the anxiety I felt about not moving my body was enormous. And it was mostly because I felt like if I moved, I would be able to eat more food than I was allowed to, whether it was like tracking points with Weight Watchers, whatever the diet was that I was following. It happened to be Weight Watchers probably for the majority of time. I know a lot of people relate to that, but I can like just picture like the little tracker with the app and how like if you added in movement it would give you more points back for the day or for the week, and I would be like so happy that I could have like a little bit more food, which is just such a sad
Give back.
picture. Right? So then I started to realize, especially like after I noticed that like I was pushing myself even like beyond my limits on the days that like I was sick. Like I could be like, I almost had the flu and I would be like, I need to work out. Or like after a major injury, like a sprained ankle, like I would feel like so down about myself that I couldn't do it. And even like after I had kids and I would not sleep like the whole night, I'd still get up and like push myself to do
Yeah.
whatever the workout was. Like after a while, I was just like, there's something has to change because like this doesn't make any sense really. Like I'm killing myself.
Yeah.
So I made a huge shift in my relationship to movement and diet about 5 years ago. And I've been working really hard to just unravel my thoughts from diet culture and fitness culture. And I've really found that movement for me has been such a coping strategy for my anxiety and stress. And it's not the only one, but it's such a big one for me. Even if that just means going for a walk on, that's okay. I don't put a lot of pressure on myself that I have to do a strength training workout on a certain day. Even if I like it, it's not something that I feel like pressured to have to do anymore. And I just feel like learning to honor and listen to your body is such a big part of the shift in mindset that comes with acknowledging these other types of milestones with movement and not being so focused on the physical appearance. Another thing that I think has changed for me since I made this shift is that I've tried a lot more different types of movement, which is nice because I think before like, I was just so focused on whatever program I was following and I had to do whatever the calendar told me to do no matter what. It didn't matter how I was feeling. But now it's like I could wake up and be like, oh, you know what? I think I want to try wall Pilates. That sounds good. And you just go on YouTube and you can find so many different things like kickboxing or strength training, cardio, dancing, whatever it is. Like the other day, I did like an Irish dance video with my
Oh,
son.
that's so cool. I love
Right?
that.
Just
That's awesome.
something totally like I would have never thought about it, but he was like, I want to learn some Irish jig dance. Now, that was another really cool side effect of shifting my mindset was just like being more open to trying different types of movement and just like remembering how much I love to be outdoors and not having to be in the dungeon of the gym or like the
Yeah.
dungeon of like your home gym being like, you know what, I just today I feel like moving my body by going outside for a hike or going outside for a walk and how important that is just like for the soul, really.
No, that totally resonates with me. And it's funny you mentioned the Irish jig. So I used to be on a step team in college,
Oh,
and it was
nice.
one of my favorite like activities to just kind of like release the anxieties and the pressure in college. And it was also just such a amazing form of movement. I didn't even explore in college because I was, going to the gym for 60 minutes a day and getting on the elliptical, just in that routine that so many of us fall into.
Mhm.
And a lot of the workouts that I create, I try to create for the non-gym lovers because you don't have to go to the gym for hours of the day and exhaust yourself, your mind, your body to achieve
Mhm.
what you can achieve in 10 minutes on a 10-minute walk outside. So this all resonates with me. I also know the Weight Watchers point system very well, crash dieting, just diet culture in general. I think we're all victims of it. And, a lot of what you said just really resonated with me. So thank you for sharing. And I'm proud of you. I'm proud of the how far you've come because it's not easy to go against what we've been taught our entire lives. So,
Yeah, I know. I'm proud of you too. I feel like we get messages constantly about weight loss. And especially like if you're in a bigger body like I am, I just feel like people expect that you're working out because you're trying to lose weight
right,
and that there's no other possible reason why you would move your body.
right,
That's just really not true. And that's really what we're talking about today is how it's so important to like be able to recognize those other things. We want people to make movement a consistent habit. We know the benefits of it beyond anything to do with appearance. Like, hey, I'm going to celebrate the small victories of I carried a few extra bags of groceries this time and I felt stronger,
right.
or I was able to spend a little bit more time doing the Irish jig with my kid, or like you notice that, you know, the impact that it's having on your stress level, like when you're
Yeah,
at work and you're
yeah,
in the middle of these meetings where you just want to like shake someone. You know
100.
that, you know, your movement has helped you kind of like tone that down a little bit.
Yeah,
That's what we want you to be focusing on when
yeah.
you're moving your body.
I think our ultimate message is we don't want fitness and movement to be about pushing your body to its limits out of guilt. We want you to appreciate your body for what it's capable of. And it's really shifting this focus from fixing to building, building endurance, building strength, confidence, resilience. When we start seeing fitness as a way to grow rather than a way to shrink, every milestone becomes something worth celebrating.
I love that so much. I feel like we should all keep that phrase in mind about using movement as a tool for growth versus shrinking. We know it's not an easy mindset shift, but even just like little tweaks along the way will get you far. Hopefully, you're listening to this today because you either are wishing for a different way or you've already kind of shifted a little bit. But Justine and I both are here to support you further on this journey beyond this talk today.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to hear from all of you. What's a non-appearance based milestone that you're proud of? Drop it in the comments, send us a message.
We love celebrating each other. That's another thing. And we're hoping that this episode has resonated with you. Be sure to follow us, share it with a friend. You always have someone in your life who you feel like, oh my gosh, this person really needs to hear this reminder. Leave us a comment, and we hope that we'll see you next time. And thanks so much for tuning in.
Bye, everyone.